The Phillies season is finally over. They end 500. They're a 500 baseball team, 81-81. It's unbelievable to think of how much talent we actually added to the roster, and we really did not get better in terms of how our record ended by the end of the season. It's a sickening joke to think about. It really is. And what went wrong? What went wrong this season? Sure, there were a ton of injuries, but did we just overvalue the talent? Did our upper management think that this pitching staff could really go into the playoffs? That's embarrassing. It really is. I'll tell you what's not embarrassing. Me giving you free money. I'm not embarrassed by that, and you shouldn't be embarrassed by using the free money. Use the promo code BROACH for $20 off of your SeatGeek's total purchase. So get yourself to a game now and save $20. I've been screaming forever. And listen, we all know the problem. Upper management's horrible. We have no prospects because they never pan out and we can't develop any. Our pitching staff is awful. The offense was quiet at times and very inconsistent, but all around, we know what the issues were all year long. So there are people defending Gabe, saying, is it really his fault or was the roster flawed? It's both. If you ask me, get rid of everyone. But that's not reality. I don't see John Middleton getting rid of everyone unless he looks himself in the mirror and says, I made a big-time mistake by giving the extensions to McPhail and Klentak. But I don't think he's going to do that. So the answer is he's going to fire Gabe Kapler. Madden is already available. There's going to be other names thrown out there. A couple other skippers got fired. So we'll see where we go. But Gabe Kapler's going to get the boot. It's pretty obvious in my opinion. Matt Klentak should go. McPhail should go. But that's not a realistic thing right now. I just don't see it. He should. I mean, think about how long he's been here. Think about how much of a dumpster fire we've been. We've been so much of a dumpster fire. And he's been here for a long time now. A long time. And what is there to show for it? Not many prospects. Listen, Adam Hazley, nice little defender. He's not going to be the reason we go out and win a championship, okay? You got guys like Acuna Jr., Juan Soto. We have Adam Hazley. It's not the same. A nice little defender who can be the eighth hitter on your team and give you a good old 260 average. But that's not what we need. We need legit players. So, I'd get rid of everyone. But this is where we are, and you look at this team and two players that stood out to me in a positive. Obviously, it's Bryce Harper and it's Jean Segura. When you signed Bryce Harper to this big contract, these are the numbers that you're looking at and saying, okay, yeah, I mean, that's what we paid you to do. By the end of it, 260 batting average, 882 OPS, 35 dingers. I know people are hitting 40, 52, whatever. This is still very reasonable. 35 dingers, 114 RBI, 36 doubles. He gives you the hustle, the energy. When he hits with runners in scoring position, he's very effective, 357 with runners in scoring position. He also walks a lot to a point. I don't value walks to an insane degree, but when you are Bryce Harper, people are afraid to pitch to you, and in situations, they're trying to walk you on purpose, and there's really nothing you can do about it. So for Bryce Harper's pedigree, yeah, you're going to walk a lot because pitchers are afraid of you. Unless you're dumb and you're Hunter Strickland and you try and prove a point based off of things that happened in the past and he rocks it out of the ballpark. But that's for another story, for another day. But Bryce, he gave it to you. I mean, he gave you everything you paid for. You can't complain with what Bryce Harper gave you. Was there a stretch during this year where he couldn't catch up to the fastball and he struck out a lot? Sure. Did he get out of that slump big time? Absolutely, and he was a big-time player for this team, and so was JT Realmuto. Those two players stepped up for this baseball team. JT, we know what he brought to the table defensively, all right? You just don't run on the guy. It's so insane that players continue to run on him. There was no reason to do that, and it's so big. I mean, last year, Jorge Alfaro back there, balls were getting by him left and right. We saw the absolute difference, the complete opposite, a complete 180 with JT Realmuto, and he was gunning guys out left and right, and that's such a big key piece to this team. Offensively, 275 batting average, hit 25 dingers, which was great for him. I mean, come on. So hitting in this ballpark compared to Miami, 83 RBI, 820 OPS. Him and JT were great, and I was looking at some other players like Scott Kinger. Yes, he had a bounce-back year from the year where he was absolutely hideous and looked overpowered. He did have a bounce-back year. But what is Scott Kingery? Once again, just another little player, you know? And then I looked at Segura because I was looking at 3 failures as well. I looked at a couple failures for this team, and we will get into that. But Segura, he hit over 300 the last couple seasons. He hit 280 here in Philadelphia, but he kind of gave you what he is. He gets a couple hits a night, right? I mean, he finds a way to get hits no matter how, infield single somehow, or he boops it in the left field, or double in the gap. He finds ways to get on base, right? He finds ways to get 2 hits a night, it seems. But there's a reason why he got traded a couple times. Whether it's his work ethic, because we've seen multiple times him not hustling, maybe it's his attitude. You can see why he got traded around a little bit. But his production of getting a couple hits a night is valuable to me. I'm not going to put him in the positive, absolutely not. But I'm not going to put him in the negative either. But I was just looking around the roster and looking at some stats thinking, where do I put Gene Segura? He's just in the middle. I don't think this team is in a bad spot with Gene Segura. It's not like him not hustling at times is the difference in this team making the playoffs or not. No, I don't think that at all. I just put him in the middle. But let's look at the failures. All right, Rhys Hoskins to me was a fat F. His second half was so brutal. 9 home runs. He was batting 180. Awful. And I defended this kid for a while throughout the year. A lot of people questioned me. Broach, should we trade him? No. I have started to think about maybe trading him. Maybe I will trade Rhys Hoskins because you can find someone who can play first base who can give you the same thing that Rhys Hoskins can at this point. I've made a little switch in my mind here, and I'm starting to lean towards, yeah, you know what, maybe I would. If we can get a pitcher, yeah, maybe I would. Because you can find someone who can do what Rhys Hoskins can do. I mean, you know, he was lost mentally big time this year. I'll give him that. He needs a whole entire offseason, in my opinion, of not even swinging the baseball bat because he was so lost mentally. I would look into it. Rhys Hoskins was a big failure this year, and you can argue that he was a problem and why this team didn't go forward. Think about the protection in the lineup. We talked about it so early in the season when we were actually hitting home runs. Citizens Bank Park was electric. We had protection in the lineup. Who do you want to pitch to? Do you want to pitch to Gene Segura? Do you want to pitch to Bryce Harper? Do you want to pitch to Rhys Hoskins? Do you want to pitch to JT Realmuto? They all had protection in the lineup. Well, once Rhys started to stink, which was for a majority of this season, Bryce Harper had no protection at all. It was crazy that he was still continuing to do his thing. It's like, oh, do I want to pitch to Bryce Harper or Rhys Hoskins? Easy answer. I'll pitch to Rhys Hoskins because he stinks right now. So Rhys was terrible. And I'm going to look at Aaron Nola and say, you got to be better. Listen, he came in, third in the Cy Young race behind DeGrom and Scherzer last year, and fine. And do I expect him to have that every single season, that dominant? No, probably not. I wouldn't think to that degree. I allowed for a little bit of a drop-off, but this was bad. I thought Aaron Nola was bad. He gave you 2 good months of baseball, July and August. He had around 2.52 ERA, a nice couple 2 months there. But April, 5.86 ERA, June, 4.31, and September, 6.51. I mean, come on. He's got to be better. And the stretch to end the season was really bad. We were winless in his starts. Keep in mind, he was going every 5th day, and we were forcing him out there because he was the only pitcher with a ton of stress, which brings me to the third thing that was a big failure, and that was the pitching staff as a whole. It was awful. Aaron Nola got abused, and you can see it in his play. I love Aaron Nola. I think he has what it takes. I think he needs protection. He needs other guys out there that can go behind him. He shouldn't have the stress of, I need to go 9 innings every game because I can't trust Vin Velasquez, Zach Eflin, Drew Smiley, Jason Vargas. That's embarrassing. Those names, embarrassing. And it's funny. I love baseball. Love playoff baseball. And normally I'm juiced up because the last few years, the Phillies weren't really involved. All right, they weren't involved. So once it came into playoff time, I'm pumped. I'm stoked. I want to watch the wild cards this week. I'm pumped up for it, right? This year, in terms of baseball playoffs, I am so mentally fatigued and so just tired of baseball because of the emotional pain and suffering that this Phillies team put me through for so damn long. I don't even have the juice for the playoffs. Now, am I going to watch it? Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I'm a crazy sports fan. I'm going to watch everything. I'm going to watch every single damn pitch. But I'm so hurt and so much pain from this crap team that it's taking away from the juice of the playoffs, in my opinion. But maybe once I see the atmosphere, see the pitchers out there doing, it will change everything. And maybe because I know the Nats are involved and the Braves are involved, maybe that plays a factor. But not really, because I've said this many times before. I enjoy watching those teams play. Like, take the Phillies out of it. The Braves are one of my favorite teams to watch in baseball. So, not really. Here we go. And I'll just throw my prediction out there real quick. If I had to choose, if I had to guess, I'm thinking it's Braves-Astros in the World Series. Would I like Dodgers-Astros rematch and to go to Game 7? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind the Dodgers getting to the World Series and losing again. I would find that entertaining. But for some reason, I think it might be the Braves and the Astros. For some reason, that's where I'm at. So, anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. All right, the season's over. 81-81. How about this real quick? I got criticized because I think I stopped making game recap videos around 153 of 162 because they were out of the playoffs. I was bothered by them. They annoyed me. I'm not watching garbage crap during the last 7-8 games where it's meaningless and Blake Parker starting the game. All right, I was out once 153 hit. I was called a fake fan, a bandwagon fan. I thought that was hilarious. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because after 153 games of 162, I came down here, emotionally attached myself to every single one of those games. Screamed, freak out, blood, sweat, and tears, excitement, all the highs, the grand slams, and the lows. But because when they were out of the playoffs with, 8, 9 games left, and they were throwing out slop, I'm a fake fan. Oh, I love it. I find it funny, though. That cracks me the hell up. I just laugh and move on. But I just thought that was funny. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.